So we've reviewed a lot of TVs, including most of Samsung's lineup, but Samsung also has a range of specialty TVs, of which this is one of them. The Terrace is a TV designed for outdoor entertainment. As a result, there are some interesting design choices to make this TV stand up to the weather year-round. Hi, I'm Daniel from Ratings.com, where we help people find the best products for their needs. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for the latest videos, or check out our website for the full review. In this video, we'll start by looking at the design and inputs of the Terrace TV. Then we'll move on to our test results for the picture quality. We'll also take a look at the motion handling, input lag, and sound. If you'd like to skip straight to our test results, then see the links in the description down below. We bought the 55-inch Terrace to test, but it's also available in a 65 and 75-inch option. We expect these other sizes to have very similar picture quality. So first up, the design of the Terrace is impressive. We apply the same test bench to all TVs to ensure all of our results are comparable. However, after buying and testing more than 250 indoor TVs, we've unsurprisingly never come across one as rugged as the Terrace. It is, after all, advertised to permanently live outside through sun and rain. So basically, the build quality is in a different league to the other TVs we've tested. The entire body of the TV is made of solid-feeling metal, with the exception of rubber sections, which create seals for water resistance. It is advertised to be IP55 rated, but we haven't tested this. Basically, this indicates the TV's level of dust and water resistance. For those in colder climates, the TV is rated to operate down to -30 Celsius, which is about -22 Fahrenheit, but we don't know if it's built to withstand ice and snow. There's no stand that comes with the TV because it's intended to be securely mounted to a wall. We bought these third-party Visa mount feet so we can easily move the TV between testing rooms. Now, the TV is fairly boxy, but it looks good. On the right-hand side is a single button to turn the TV on or off or change volume and between channels or inputs. On the back of the TV is a panel for the inputs. This takes cable management to the extreme. After plugging in any cables, the solid plastic door closes on hinges, and there are little rubber grommets for cables to route through without allowing water intrusion. It works well, and along with 3 HDMI ports, there's a USB port and tuner. There's also an inbuilt HD-based-T receiver, which is the standard for transmitting video long distance, which could be useful for some outdoor setups. Now we'll move on to the picture quality, and we'll start with the contrast ratio. This is the ratio between the brightest white and the deepest black that a TV can produce, and is generally considered one of the most important aspects of picture quality. TVs with a high contrast ratio appear to have more detail in dark scenes, without those details getting lost in the gray. For a TV that's mounted outside, you can't control the ambient light condition, so this is really only important if you plan to watch the TV at night. The Terrace uses a VA-type panel and has a high native contrast ratio. This helps to produce deep dark scenes and is a great result. Now, there's also a feature called local dimming to improve the perceived contrast. Basically, this is where different areas or zones of the backlight can be controlled independently to further deepen dark areas of scenes or boost brighter areas. The result on this TV is pretty good, as we found that even small areas like the dreaded star field doesn't result in crushed details. There's not that much blooming, but as we'll talk about later, the screen is very bright. Subtitles are handled well without too much noticeable blooming around the text, and while the transition between zones is visible, it isn't too bad. Onto the viewing angles. Depending on your outdoor environment, wide viewing angles may be important if you have wide seating to ensure an accurate image for everyone. This TV uses a VA-type panel, and one of the downsides of this panel type is more limited viewing angles. Unlike some Samsung TVs like the QLED, this TV doesn't have an additional optical layer to improve the viewing angles further. Those who really care about viewing angles may find it bad, but we also do get a lot of feedback from people who don't mind the viewing angles of VA panels. As a result, you should check out the video here to see how you find it. Especially important for an outdoor TV is good reflection handling. This is because there's no good way to control the amount of sunlight or reflections incident on the screen. You can't just close your blinds. This TV has a fairly glossy finish, but that's not a bad thing. The anti-reflective coating is effective at cutting down the amount of light, which results in great performance, especially when combined with a high peak brightness. Speaking of peak brightness, this is the brightest overall TV we've tested by quite a margin. the heavy-duty construction likely allows it to dissipate heat well, and it seems to be matched by beefy LEDs and a power supply too. The whole screen can sustain a brightness of about 1600 nits in SDR, which is more than double the next highest TV we've bought. I should note though that double the nits doesn't mean double the perceived brightness, but it's still impressive. This should be great for overcoming glare, as you can just turn up the backlight. Now, if you plan to watch HDR content, then a high peak brightness is also important to add specular highlight detail. After looking at the SDR numbers, it's no surprise that the Terrace is impressive in HDR too. It can consistently meet a brightness of between 1500 and 1900 nits in the more accurate HDR movie picture mode. In the dynamic mode, we measured an instantaneous peak brightness of about 6000 nits, which is outstanding, but it's unlikely to get this bright in normal content, and this extreme brightness isn't sustained. Also important for HDR is the ability to take advantage of the wider color spaces that content can be mastered in. This TV is advertised to be a QLED, which is what Samsung uses to indicate their higher-end wide-color gamut TVs. As a result, the great DCI P3 and Rec 2020 color space performance is not surprising, in the same ballpark as the Q90T. Another important picture quality aspect is the uniformity of the TV. We test the gray uniformity of each TV by taking a photo of a mid-level gray and a dark gray. This shows uniformity issues which affect all colors, including dirty screen effect or vignetting, which can be distracting when watching sports or playing video games. The Terrace is decent in this respect, but you can see some vignetting near the edge, and there is a bit of dirty screen effect. Overall, it should be fine for watching sports. So now on to the motion handling. There's many aspects to motion performance, so if you want to learn more about motion on TVs, then make sure you check out the video series up here. The response time is an average of the time it takes the display to transition from one frame to the next. A high response time results in blurry images when watching sports or playing video games. The Terrace has a fast response time, resulting in clear moving images without much motion blur, as you can see in our moving logo photo. The TV does flicker, but you can't really see it in our moving logo photo or in person due to the high frequency at 960 Hz. As a result, while it isn't flicker-free, it is unlikely to be an issue for most people. For those who want the clearest image though when watching sports, you can also increase the amount of noticeable flicker with a technique known as black frame insertion or BFI. This TV has two ways to activate black frame insertion. If you're in a regular picture mode like movie, then you can turn picture clarity on for 120 Hz flicker. This helps to improve the clarity of movement, but also introduces duplications in most content that is 60 Hz. If you prefer more visible flicker at 60 Hz for reduced duplications, then change to the game picture mode and activate LED clear motion. This produces very clear motion, but isn't for everyone as it adds pretty intense flicker. Now, if you sometimes want to game outside on your TV, then a low input lag is important to reduce the delay between an action in-game and when you see it on the screen. Like other Samsung TVs, this one has a very low input lag, which is a great result and feels very responsive. So now onto the smart features. Like other Samsungs, this TV has the same Tizen smart interface, which is smooth and user-friendly. You have a great selection of apps to choose from, and it now has the Apple TV app built in. You'll find ads on the home menu, but you have access to all the apps you need to cut the cord or expand your media selection. The smart remote also works well and is advertised to be IP56 rated for water and dust intrusion to match the TV. While it looks similar to some of the smart remotes from last year, there are additional seals noticeable in the battery compartment. And lastly, for the sound. Overall, the result is decent, however it is limited by the low frequency extension of this TV, as it can't produce deep bass with thump or rumble. If you care about sound, then an external sound system is the way to go. We haven't reviewed any design for the outdoors though. So overall, the Terrace is the first outdoor TV we've tested, and it's definitely interesting to see how it compares to indoor models. The design is focused around an excellent build quality, high brightness, and great reflection handling, all of which are very important for an outdoor entertainment model. As a result, it should be a great choice if this is what you're after. So that's it. What do you think of the first outdoor TV we've tested? Do you want us to test other outdoor TVs? If so, let us know in the comments down below. You can check out all of the measurements on our website. And if you like this video, subscribe to our channel or become an insider on the website for access to our latest test results first. Also, we're currently hiring in our offices in Montreal for various positions, so if you want to help people find the best product for their needs, have a look at the careers page on our website. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.